Here's the funny thing about that year, 2004. Not only we got 4 straight hurricanes 3 weeks apart, but it was also an election year. This year's an election year. We already got 3 hurricanes in Florida. What's going to happen?
Las distracciones y narrativas reinan este mundo tecnológico. Todos tienen una opinión de lo que es la verdad y lo que es mentira. ¿Quién controla el mundo? ¿Los aliens son real? ¿Vivimos en un Matrix? Estas preguntas serán debatidas con José y Daniel G, explorando y descubriendo las verdades de nuestro mundo, nuestras creencias y nuestro reality. Welcome to Cultura Truth Project.
Dímelo, mi gente. Welcome back. We are back. It's been a few weeks, pero estamos de vuelta. Cultura Truth Project. I'm Jose G. Daniel G.
Yo.
Dímelo, bro.
Bro, you survived.
I survived 2 hurricanes, bro. 2 weeks apart, man.
Bro, yeah, like you were out there like the meme with your Puerto Rican flag in one hand, American flag in the other, just. It was great.
Man. Milton got windy. It got hairy there for a second, bro. But
that category 5
never lost power.
Category 5 had me scared. I was calling you like every day leading up to it. I'm like, yo, you good? Yo, you good? Yo, escape, bro. This weather manipulation is real.
The funny thing is that when it came in as a 1, bro. Like it came in like a week 2 or like a week 3, 2, and then so when it came in through Orlando, it was like a week 1. So praise Yah that it could have been a lot worse. But it was definitely scary, bro, because it was like one moment it was a regular storm and 24 hours later it was a Cat 5 hurricane. I'm like, what is going on?
Okay. But historically, any storm that goes over the Gulf of Mexico has been known to just kind of multiply.
First, I want to say, I love how everyone is all of a sudden a meteorologist and a weather expert on hurricanes after watching, mainstream media and listening and regurgitating what mainstream media is saying. Typically, storms are very active in the Gulf, right over here in this area, in the Bay of Campeche. It's very, very, very warm, and very shallow water. So, we are expecting... We're expecting 33, maybe 35 major hurricanes this year.
I'm only saying this because I lived through 2004. And
I did too. I was here.
And I remember when Charlie was coming through the Gulf and how it just kind of sat there for a couple of days and it got really strong. And I'm like, so there's a precedence for this. And I saw it happening. And I was like, yo, this gives me 2004 vibes.
Well, you get the exception. I'm worried. You get the exception because you actually lived through it, right? It's just all the other people that's never been through a hurricane. They all of a sudden they're meteorological experts. But here's the funny thing about that year, 2004. Not only we got 4 straight hurricanes 3 weeks apart, but it was also an election year. This year's an election year. We already got 3 hurricanes in Florida. What's going to happen?
Well, they tried to kill the president again.
A 3rd time? When did that happen?
I guess a couple days ago.
What?
Yeah, they're trying to take.
This is getting old. This is getting old.
I mean, it's like, bro, like you these are biters now, bro. They're just biting now.
You're so terrible at your job that you failed 3 times at it.
They're biting so hard, bro. They're biting so hard. The first guy at least got a little scratch on him, and they're like, bro, they touched him. We can get him too, dog. It's bad.
Oh, man.
Bad.
Well, guys, before we continue with the show, let's do a little bit of housekeeping as always. Make sure you follow us on all of the socials. Síguenos en YouTube and on Rumble, Cultura Truth Project. Gonzalez Media TV on Facebook and on Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast, all the major platforms, Spotify, yeet, Apple Podcast, yeet, iHeartRadio, yeet, Google Podcast, yeet, and leave us a 5-star review. Yeet. That's right, baby. And if y'all want to show your support too, here at Cultura Truth Project, join the Supporters Club on Spreaker, $3 a month. We got the link in the description. Audio only. You can't get anywhere. Not on YouTube, not on Rumble, not anywhere. Only on Spreaker. Supporters Club, $3, 3 pesitos, cheaper than a bag of Skittles. So yeah, bro. Yeet. That's right. And smash that like button. Share the show. As always, guys, we love your support. Appreciate it. All right, guys. So yeah, man. So this damn hurricane was strong, and it was the only thing on social media. It was the only thing, like, family members from Puerto Rico that I haven't heard from in years were reaching out. Oye, ustedes van a estar bien. You know, mom and dad reaching out to me every day. You reaching out to me every day. Like, I mean, I get the concern, and I loved it. And I love that, right? But it started getting like a little annoying, like around day 3, like the day before the storm is about to hit, right? And dude, and then you start seeing like the hurricane happen, and then, you know, a few weeks earlier was Helene, and we saw all the stuff that happened with Helene up in Tennessee and in Carolina, North Carolina, and I start seeing all these videos now on IG and on TikTok about cloud seeding and weather manipulation, and you know, what's the issue? Like, why are these hurricanes so strong, right? So then I start doing my own research, and I start looking into this, right? And apparently weather modification isn't a new thing. It's actually been out since like the 1950s. It's something that they've used for either to create precipitation, to control it, but not to like steer hurricanes, or to like, here, let's make this hurricane a Category 5 hurricane just for the sake of, you know, land grabbing and, you know, wiping out, you know, cities so we can make smart cities. But I'm going to come back full circle to that, because there's something about that, right? So
I've shared all these already, so keep going.
So you know, I started seeing these videos on like, okay, there's another video now on that you can actually now steer hurricanes, that there you can go with a big ass bomber plane right above the hurricane. I think you have to be like a certain amount of feet above the hurricane, and you let out the silver iodide. Yeah, dude, like I have all this stuff here like pulled up. It's crazy, bro. But what have you been seeing on your side ever since, like, because I'm sure you have, life went on as normal while I was, you know, suffering, you know, apocalyptic times here in Florida. Pero from your side, like, what was the world on your side? Because I'm curious to know, bro.
So, unlike you, I refuse to watch mainstream media while tracking the hurricane. I went to NOAA.com, you know, or NOAA.org, the National Oceanic, Atlantic, whatever, just to track the storm, see how fast the winds are, and just kind of like look at the general direction of the storm. Because guess what? I grew up in the state of Florida. I know how to read a hurricane map since I was like in the 3rd grade. So don't tell me I know more than Texas meteorologists about hurricanes. Maybe not as much as Florida meteorologists, but definitely more than Texas meteorologists about how hurricanes act this time of year. Okay, I lived through 2004. We've been through like the 2098, 99 hurricanes that hit Miami and all that. So it's like, I'm an experienced hurricane analysis anecdotally. Okay.
Anecdotally. Let's make that clear that he is anecdotal, no master's education, bachelor's education.
No. First-hand experience.
Hood firsthand, and internet.
Hood firsthand experience. So like I'm tracking the storm, you know, I'm working tick tick click clack click click clack, like, And I'm like tracking the storm on NOAA. Like I got my 3 screens up here. So I'm like over here, I'm like working over here. I'm tracking NOAA, and over here, I'm like, doing more work. And then I'm like looking at it, and then I see it's coming off of Cancun, and I see the cone heading towards Florida. And then I go, that looks like Charlie. So then I Google Hurricane Track Charlie 2004. And then I'm like, this isn't bueno. This is not bueno. And then it was like 3 days out, like Hurricane Charlie got real strong. And then it kind of like, it hit in the middle of the night, so it kind of went down slightly, but Hurricane Charlie was really strong. And I was like, okay. I'm like, depending on what time of day this thing hits Florida, like Jose's into some deep shit. And like, I think it was like Thursday of the week before, it was projected to hit like Tuesday afternoon, like landfall. And then I'm like, oh no, Jose, careful, don't die. It's gonna be a category 5. Even if it hits in Tampa, it's still gonna be like a 3 by the time it gets to Orlando. Tampa's obliterated. The smart city that all the crypto billionaires want to build in Tampa is gonna happen, and it's probably gonna be really cool. But what makes Tampa cool is no longer gonna be there. It's gonna be Disney on the water. It's gonna suck the life out of everything. And then I guess apparently it didn't fit the narrative because the Trump assassination didn't go through. So they were like, yo, bring it back down to a 1 and just make this slight flooding, and Floridians will just forget that this all ever happened.
The interesting thing about this, and I sent you a video, I think it happened like, I think you were talking about the hurricane, it was Cat 5, and then I stumbled upon this video that I thought that was published 4 years ago, but this video was actually produced in 2017, bro.
Oh, Lord.
And it's called Project Phoenix. And it's basically what the video is about. It's a 20-minute video, and I'll put a link in the description so you guys can take a look at it. But just to kind of round it up really quick, the video talks about the worst case scenario if a category 5 hurricane would hit the Tampa Bay area, and what would the flooding be like, the response time, the FEMA response.
It'd be a disaster.
Yeah, dude. So this was produced in 2017. And dude, no lie, it's like you can just copy and paste what you saw in that video, which was a simulation video, to what happened now, 2024, with Hurricane Milton.
Predictive programming.
Could be. Don't know, but it definitely could be, right? So I started looking into all the other stuff that we started talking about, weather modification, and I found a couple articles, but I found this really cool video on YouTube from Blaze TV, and I wanna go over that really quick. But just for you guys, I wanted to go over here and show you guys about the cloud seeding and the weather modification. That it's like the government's been working on this for a very, very, very long time, bro. So like we can go even back in history here. You can see here 1954. In Thailand, they were using it for rainmaking, right?
They do it right now in the Middle East.
Yeah, they use it in Dubai. They use it in Dubai in order to control their weather over there, since it's in the middle of the desert, right? So there's been many countries that use it. Beijing used it for the 2008 Olympics so they can get rid of some of their pollution and make it look nice for the Olympics, right? So they've used this technology. So when people say it was like, oh, you're being a conspiracy theorist, like, no, like there's actual factual evidence.
Maybe in 1999 you'd be a conspiracy theorist, but if Art Bell was still alive, it'd be like, yo.
Yeah, for real, dude. Here's the cloud seeding stuff. Cloud seeding is a common technique to enhance precipitation. Cloud seeding entails spraying small particles such as silver iodide into clouds to attempt to affect their development, usually with the goal of increasing precipitation, right? So this cloud seeding is also connected to the hurricanes. And here's this cool video that I found here on Blaze explaining what cloud seeding is. So, well.
Can the government control the weather? It's a wild conspiracy theory. Or is it? A recent article on theblaze.com details cloud seeding and how humans have been attempting
pause this
for decades. Here to discuss is Peter.
Why are you pausing so early in the video?
Why? Because I need to make fun of her eyebrows. Like, what is going on there?
Seriously, bro? You're pausing the video to make fun of this poor lady's eyebrows, bro?
Bro, she needs.
You shouldn't even be, making fun of her eyebrows with your bushy ass fucking, dry.
I need to, bro. Look at that white lady neck, though.
I have no problem with her eyebrows. Her eyebrows are perfectly fine. Maybe in 2009, but yes, her eyebrows are fine, bro.
Yeah, you're right. There's nothing wrong with those eyebrows in 2007. You're completely correct, sir.
All right, back to the video.
Peter Giedel. He's the managing editor for Return and Frontier magazine. And Peter, all right, let's just start with the basics, right? Because we don't want to get into everything right off the bat. So just what is cloud seeding and how does it modify weather patterns?
Well, it's interesting because it sounds like some sort of crazy Alex Jones level conspiracy, but Cooper Williamson, the writer who worked on it with me on this article, we were digging into it, and it's actually a really fascinating story. It was invented by Kurt Vonnegut's brother back in the 40s. And actually, Cy Hirsch did a lot of reporting that the U.S. government was trying to use it during Vietnam to increase the monsoons against the North Vietnamese. So the technology itself has actually been around for a while. And we're starting to see more instances of the Chinese, the Saudis, all kinds of different groups using it.
So, first off, we're going to have to get into that more.
So there he is. And this guy, he just confirmed what we just read on Wikipedia. All right. So this is public information about cloud seeding. So this is where it gets interesting. Let's continue.
Because most people, I think, like me, this isn't real, is it? A lot of people have that impression because they just haven't heard about it before. But what are the primary purposes of this in the last, however many decades we've been doing it?
It's really more. Instead of thinking of it as controlling the weather, it's kind of augmenting the weather or making it a little worse so they can shoot sodium iodine or silver iodine, and other particulates up into the air. And basically it's trying to cause the rain to fall out of it so it can increase storms, increase rainfall. They can't create rain out of thin air when there's nothing there, but it can cause, we saw in Dubai, it can cause flooding. It was used during the Olympics. The Chinese used it to keep the rain away during the 2016 Beijing Olympics. So it's a new technology that we don't know a lot of the long-term ramifications of what it can cause, what the environmental effects, and whether or not we should be trying to control and affect the weather.
Yeah, when I hear that, my brain is just like, okay, which governments are doing it and what are they trying to use this for? And you mentioned a couple different countries. So dive into that a little bit more.
Well, the Chinese they bragged about using it during the Beijing Olympics first they used it to cause more rain to clear the pollution, and then they kept the rain away. So it can also be used to to lessen storms, which people have talked about using it to, I guess, fight hurricanes in a way. But we're still very much in a gray area of what governments, and especially our own government, are using it in today's world.
Whoa. So confirmation, bro. Confirmation. The stuff exists. Countries are using it for a certain reason. Pero thoughts on that, bro?
Here's the thing. It's nothing new to me, dude. Like this has been kind of an open secret that not only the US government, but governments around the world have been using to help either create more rain in certain parts or less rain in other parts. I don't know if it's malicious. That's the thing, right? Like, if you think about China using it in their Sochi Olympics to keep the rain away, is that malicious? Or is it just a game of convenience? I don't know.
I guess it's a tool, just like anything else, right? It's like giving a person a gun. You can either have a gun and you can go hunt animal and have dinner, or you can go shoot somebody with it, right? It's a tool. But if anything has told us anything since we've started this show, there are certain governments out there that have certain agendas of how they want their country or how they want the world to look like, right? So who's not to say that they are manipulating or modifying the weather a certain way? But here's the other side. Here's the other side of the argument, right? What if it's Yah? What if it's Yah doing this to clean out certain areas or showing signs that he's getting ready to come back? Like, I don't know, but I have a video. And then you can
so if we're gonna get into the eschatology of it, where it's like if we're following the end times signs and stuff, yeah, I would say yeah. But like how that comes to be, and is it human made versus supernatural? I don't think it really matters, right? Because it doesn't matter if it is supernatural or human made. Is the Bible doesn't say it has to be God doing it. It just says these things will happen.
Exactly.
Go into it. Go for it.
So this guy is John Truth over on Instagram. So shout out to John Truth, and I love his content. He does a really good job of breaking things down, and he uses a Bible as a resource for everything, for all of his videos. So check out this one. This one's about the hurricane.
Listen up, Florida. You got another storm on the way. Possibly a Category 4 or Category 5 that's about to make landfall in the Tampa area, which is actually where I'm from. Stop blaming HARP, stop blaming the government, and actually give some esteem to the one who's in control of all things. It's Yahuwah, the Most High. And even if HARP is amplifying these storms, Yahuwah has made all things for himself, yeah? Even the wicked for the day of evil. These storms are judgment. People need to wake up and repent. Behold, the whirlwind of Yahuwah goes forth with fury, a continuing whirlwind. It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked. The fierce anger of Yahuwah shall not return until he have done it, until he have performed the intents of his heart. In the latter days you shall consider it. People say he's not like that anymore. He doesn't judge people like that anymore.
Yeah, he does.
But hold on.
Do you want to say something?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, hold on.
No, I'm sorry.
I changed.
I'm just commenting, and he's like, "Oh, people say that he doesn't just listen." Yeah, he does. like,
what were you gonna say?
Sorry, it's the idea that God doesn't judge. It's like, no, he's. Oh, okay, we'll finish it afterwards.
Yahushua HaMashiach, who is Yahuwah, by the way, is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Why is Yahuwah so angry? Why is his wrath going forth right now? Because we live in a lawless world, meaning without law. Modern churches have deceived you into believing that the law, the Torah, is completely done away with. People think the law is just for the Israelites, the Yashraelim. One Torah shall be to him that is homeborn, the Yashraelim, and to the stranger that sojourns among you, the Gentiles. Churches teach that the law is done away with. But let's see what it says in 1 John.
So he keeps breaking it down, basically bringing it back to the Bible. And that's the reason why we're having a lot of these, really, really strong hurricanes. I'm not the one to say that he's not wrong, but there might be some truth behind that.
Okay. Yes. I'm not going to say there is no truth behind it. I think that is a possibility. But I also know kind of the patterns of God in the Bible, right? Example, like he doesn't bestow a wrath without a path of salvation, right? So it's like you can't just blanket say, oh, these bad things are happening because God is angry. Right, like the Bible does say it will rain on the just and on the meek, and and on the rich and on the poor. So bad things just happen. Things will just happen on this world. Like I think, for example, I even though I do believe that God has the ability to do signs and wonders in such ways that even affect the Category 5 hurricane. But I also believe that just bad things just happen, and he allows them to happen, not because of an evil plan, because he's going to use it to redeem his people in some way, right? And I think that the fact that there was a Category 5 hurricane headed dead center of Florida, and for days upon days upon days, you had people you haven't even heard from in years checking up on you, praying over you, praying for your safety. Isn't that justification enough to be for God to be like, yeah, maybe we'll take it easy? You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that people acknowledged him in that moment. Maybe somebody got saved in that moment, right? That they had to acknowledge and be like, God, thank you so much for today, right? Like, I think that the bad things that happened, the flooding and the people that lost their homes, and God knows if there was any, I don't know if there was any casualties because of flooding in the Tampa area, in the Sarasota area. I don't know, but I do know this: all things work for his good, whether we like it or not, right? Like, we don't have to like it. Like, maybe the divorce that you went through was, you know, the saving grace for somebody else. Right? Like, that's that. I hate to sound like that for some people. Maybe that person who cut you off in traffic, right? He saved you from being ran over by a friggin' 4-wheeler, 18-wheeler, you know, 2 lights down. I don't know, but like, there's a synchronicity that God, that his goodness is beyond comprehension sometimes. So what I don't like about some of these TikTok creators, TikTok theologists, and I'm sure his stuff is great, I'm not trying to say, but this is just a general criticism of a lot of TikTok theology, is they'll quote the Bible without giving context through both New and Old Testament, and why the path to redemption is such a big deal in the New Testament, especially as Christians, people who follow the way. Like that is a big deal. Yes, the Torah and the law is important, and yes, the Torah and the law is something we should follow. But like, there is no one who will ever live up to that law to perfection other than Yeshua, Jesus. So to say we're going to pull these Old Testament things and use Revelations to do this, it's like, that's fear mongering, and that is wrong, in my opinion. And that is my opinion. Again, who am I, right? I'm not saying that you should not try to follow the law to the best of your opinion. That's to the best of your ability. That is not what I'm saying. Because when you accept when you accept God into your heart, yes, you're saved, but there is the sanctification process, like we were talking about in the pre-show. The sanctification process is it's the conviction of you, well, I'm doing this wrong, I got to fix this. That is following the law. That is fixing yourself to be more like Jesus. Right? So when people on TikTok go, these things are happening because we have a lawless. Yeah, we have we live in a lawless society. Yes, we do. But the numbers are showing that there's also a revival happening in today's world. So there is hope. There is hope. There is more Christian and content creators in today's YouTube than there was 10 years ago. There's more people in pop culture claiming Jesus to be their Lord and Savior, God, Yahweh, to be their Lord and Savior now more than ever before in modern history. There was people choosing to follow the way because, let it be an overcorrection to culture, but because, hey, we've seen what happens when we follow culture and what the government tells us to do. Now everybody's swinging the other way. So there is a revival happening. I just don't like how some people take eschatology and the things that are said in the Bible and try to fit them into current events, because that is an unfair act to a new believer, especially if you're a TikTok preacher like he is.
Bueno, this is the first time you see this guy, right?
Yeah.
All right. You don't know he's a preacher because he's not.
He is, though.
Well, I mean, just so everybody who talks about God on the internet is a preacher.
Well, he's something.
All right. Well, he studies the word. He studies the word. He studies the Bible. I mean, and he shares his thoughts on the Bible. And I just found about this guy a few days ago, and it resonated with me. And I like, so, I understand how you feel about it, and but what I would encourage you is to watch some more videos, and maybe it'll change your mind, right? Because I don't think he's fear mongering. I don't think he's doing anything like that. there are some creators out there that do that, and I don't agree with that at all, right? I feel like if you're sharing the truth, then share the truth as it should be, but don't fear monger about it, because that's the last thing that we should be doing is fear mongering. Pero nada, bro. I'll have his links in the description. You guys can check them out. John Truth. We'll try to get him on the show so we can have a nice conversation, because I think he'll be a good addition of having a good conversation on the show here. Pero bro, did you see the We Robot stuff with Tesla and
this is gonna be great. Did you see the ones with did you see the spoof ones where they're like, yo, where you from though? I'm from East Los Hans.
No, I haven't
seen
that.
Those are hilarious, bro. Yeah,
bro.
It's funny.
But yeah, man, it's been wild. The internet's been going crazy with that whole presentation. And the crazy thing is that, dude, he literally copy and pasted iRobot. Like, if we look at this picture down over here, like, look at the robot and look at the people around him, and then you get that frame from the movie, and you got that Audi with Will Smith right next to it, and then look at the Tesla. It looks, it doesn't look exactly like it, but pretty close. And then the little taxi bus right over here, and then
taxi bus.
It looks like it, dude. I don't know, man, but yeah, it was crazy because apparently the name of the robot is Optimus. And it's autonomous. Not every robot was autonomous at the show. The ones that were at the bar serving drinks, those were controlled remotely. But there were some other ones walking around that were fully autonomous and like having full blown conversations with people. Did you see those videos?
That's the ones I'm talking about. There was one that had a hardcore East Los accent from like east side of California, bro. It was crazy. I thought it was funny because it's like, where you from, Hans? No, what you pressing me for, Hans? It was funny.
Seriously?
Bro. Dude, it is so funny. Here's the thing. Here's what I appreciate about Elon. Like, he takes things in pop culture and he just puts it all over his technology. It was like example, like he has a ludicrous mode in the Tesla. Ludicrous mode.
He does. He does have a ludicrous mode in Tesla.
He has ludicrous mode in the Tesla. So it's like it's kind of on brand for him.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
I think this is the one. This is the one.
This is one of them. Let's check this one out.
What kind of shoes are you wearing? Are those Skechers?
He's looking at his shoes.
They're kind of a part of my feet. But I don't want to give you the shoe size. I'm a little self-conscious about that. What kind of...
How can a robot be self-conscious about your shoe size?
Dude,
you don't have a conscience yet, dude.
You know, here's the thing. Have you played around with some of those AI bot chats, like the ChatGPT stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, like some of them are so bad. Some of them are so bad, you're like, oh, this is trash. But some of them are good, and you're like, ugh, this is creepy. And it's, I think, did you find it? Did you find the right one?
No,
hey, buddy, how you doing?
There's one with 2 Chainz talking to the Optimus robot. I got it here. Hold on. Let's see this one.
There you go, man. 2 Chainz, how you doing?
What's up?
Hey, buddy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
I'm Optimus.
Okay. My name is Tony.
Oh, Tony?
Tony?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Tony.
Nice to meet you too, buddy. Hey, can you
Awesome.
can you play basketball? Can you shoot like jump shots?
Maybe one day.
I'll teach
Can you?
I'll teach you.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Really?
man.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you,
Really?
brother.
Much appreciated.
All right, man. You like Balenciaga? I got an out.
Why did he ask him, do you like Balenciaga? Illuminati. Just saying, Illuminati confirmed.
Outfit for you.
Really?
Yeah, I got an outfit for you.
Awesome. That's cool.
Yeah. All right. Well,
See, like,
I'm about to order
me,
you.
those are like a lot of like predetermined like answers. Like, hey, if this, how you doing? He's like, I'm doing
Trying
great.
to make him more human.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna order you, and then I'll see you in another couple months. Okay.
I'll see you.
I'll see you. All right.
See, like it's not actually holding a conversation. It does really good small talk, but it's not like, hey, tell me why God exists, right? Like, it's not doing that.
It's not that intelligent.
No, it's machine learning. So maybe in a year, definitely we're gonna have to take up arms and bring down the Skynet. And thank you, Elon Musk for bringing up on Skynet. But like, this is Terminator 1 for sure. This is the beginning of Terminator, bro.
Oh, definitely, for sure, bro.
No,
Right, we got this from the bartender one.
All right, everybody doing? How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Peace, everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Nice.
I love the change.
You gotta find the one with the
How's
Mexican
everybody
accent,
doing?
bro. It's so
Doing
funny.
good.
All right, then step right up.
Dude, this is so wild, man. Like,
Dude, this is like the
we
coolest thing.
saw
of
a movie
2024.
about this nearly 20 years ago, and now
No,
it's
it wasn't 20
rap.
years ago, was it? iRobot was like 05, 06, maybe. No, yeah, it is 20 years ago. Crap.
Yeah,
I'm old.
yeah, dude.
I'm old.
You're
I'm
old, bro.
old. I'm
Eminem's
old.
gonna be a grandfather, bruh.
Not Slim Shady.
Forget about that.
Not Slim Shady.
Slim Shady's gonna be a grandpa, bro.
Freaking Daddy Yankee's making documentaries. Freaking, it's horrible.
Yo, that documentary was fire. That reggaeton documentary on Peacock was,
dude.
fire.
Episode
So
1 and
good.
2 was like my early childhood, basically.
I
Just
was
like
bumping underground all week, bro.
dude, like I've been like I was telling Alyssa, my fiance, I was like, dude, like episode 1 and 2, I'm like, yeah, Jose had all these tapes. And he would hide them, and then we would be in the car, and he would play them. And it was like, I remember hearing all these songs by the time I was like 8. And she was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, "So you remember having all these CDs?" And I'm like, "Yes, I had." Jose had LimeWire. We crashed the computer like twice.
Oh yeah, oh for sure, bro. I destroyed every single PC we had, dude.
I was like, yeah, my flow. Yeah, we didn't have the original. We had the bootleg copy.
Yeah, for real. I had it. Yeah, but then because I would download them and then I would burn them on CDs and I would sell them.
And this is like, or by this time we were in Orlando, so we were burning CDs. This is like Orlando days, right? So it's like I remember like 01, 02, 03, like we're like, and I'm like, yo, all these songs were so explicit.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, so explicit. And I'm like, and she was like, what do you mean? She was like, I'm like, honey, like 2 Live Crew had nothing on Puerto Rican hip hop and reggaeton. And she goes, what do you mean? Like nothing. And I started translating some of the lyrics for her. And she was like, oh, good Lord. And I'm like, yes. And I was deep in church and still singing these songs to the top of my lungs while I was in school.
Maldita, maldita. I can't even say any of those words. It's too bad. It's really bad. But
dude.
That's the start of reggaeton, yo. It's all, y'all haven't checked it out. Check out that documentary. It's definitely good, bro. But man, I can't find that short. I can't find that short with the.
It's fine.
robot.
It's fine. It's okay. No, and then it's like there's a point in the documentary where they bring up Tego Calderon, and then mommy is cooking. And then mommy's cooking and she's not even watching the documentary. And mommy's like rapping every single lyric of Tego Calderon that the song is on a thing. And my mom and Alyssa just looks just like this.
Hey,
she's like, what's happening? El negro de la lena linda.
Hey, el Tego Calde. I love Tego, bro. Tego's the shit, man. Tego entered the game at a later age, bro. He entered it in his late 40s.
El Tego, el feo de la nena linda.
Ese mismo, bro. Yeah, for sure, bro. Tego is the shit.
Guys.
The best part about growing up in PR during those times, and los paris de Marquesina. You were too young for that. But
tiny PR, mini PR, by BVL. Shout out to BVL and all those parties out in BVL. We had our own version of that, bro.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
No, I don't care what you say.
No, pero es que yo te estoy diciendo.
I'm telling you,
bro.
Homie.
Los paris de Marquesina en Puerto Rico, all right, tú montabas el DJ, tú metías 100 personas ahí, tú le cobrabas $2, $3, y ahí todo el mundo bebía, y todo el mundo perreando, sudando, la música, fumando, bro, everywhere, bro. you don't do that now, bro. You can't even do that anymore.
You can't do that today.
No, you can't do that shit anymore.
You can't. But I'll tell you this:
down, bro.
From the years of 2003 through 2009, and you lived in Kissimmee, Florida, and people who know, and you had cousins or brothers or sisters or friends in the BVL area, y'all know these house parties, bro. These house parties, the cops shut them down. The entire high school. If you weren't at those parties, you weren't cool. Like straight up, bro. That's where like I remember.
See, that's after my time, bro. Because you went to high school out there. You went to high school out there. You know all them people,
bruh. Like
so
I remember
that was a whole different timeline for me. So
it's like so think about this. Remember when Arcángel first started getting hot? Like was like back in like the late aughts, right? So it's like I remember hearing his music and people saying, yo, he's gonna show up at this party, because he still wasn't like famous. He was still like underground king at the time. And I'm like, isn't he from New York? And people like, no, he's from Puerto Rico. No, he's from the Dominican Republic. Like the conversations about where he was from was still like a thing. And then all of a sudden he came out with like, yo soy una gárgola, and then he exploded everywhere. And then I'm like, I remember hearing his stuff like in a party in like 2007. And I'm like, yo, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I remember like I think I sent you the reel where like dancing in the 2000s was a communal thing, where you saw a girl, she saw you, y'all grinded on each other for like 2 or 3 songs. If you liked each other enough, by the end of the 2 or 3 songs, you exchanged phone numbers, and then you might have never seen her again. It was a thing. It was a communal experience for us old people. Can't believe we're old now. Jesus,
you know, talking about old school, you know, Daddy Yankee will always be one of the OGs. And when it comes to reggaeton, when it comes to
he is the guy who named it.
He's the guy who named it, right? He's the guy who named el género, ¿verdad? But AI is getting out of hand, bro. AI is getting way out of hand. And when it comes to these music and like restyling them, bro, did you see what they did to our boy? They made his iconic 2004 Gasolina song into a 1973 bolero. Check this shit out, bro. This shit is...
I saw this. This made me laugh so hard.
That's just creepy how his face is smiling.
Zúmbale mambo pa' que mi gata prenda los motores, que se preparen que lo que viene es pa' que le den duro. Mamita, yo sé que tú no te me vas a quitar duro. Lo que me gusta es que tú te dejas.
Pause it. Before they take it down and we get copyrighted. Isn't it weird how the AI, even though it's getting better, they still look creepy?
Looks creepy as hell, bro. Looks creepy as hell. Looks like have no soul. And
like the rest of the background is freaking amazing. The rest of the background is amazing.
Dude, what's even creepier is just how much Daddy Yankee is smiling. He's just like, it's really creepy, bro. But, look at that.
I can't do this anymore. This is
creepy. Look at that, dude. That is so creepy, bro. So creepy.
But what I will say about that documentary that I really did like that they acknowledged is, number one, the hip hop influence that comes from the 80s and you know, the late 70s, early 80s. I like the fact that they acknowledged the salsa influence from New York.
The Jamaican influence.
The Jamaican and Panamanian influence.
Uh-huh.
Like they were super honest about the origins of reggaeton. And it's like, to me, it's like everybody's like, oh, reggaeton is from here, it's from here. It's like, no. Reggaeton is from Puerto Rico. And it's a lot of the similarities of what happened with hip hop happened with reggaeton, just happened on the island. Mm-hmm. And there would be no, like there is no urban, el género urbano.
Lo que la gente no entiende, there is no hip hop without Puerto Rico. There is no reggaeton without Puerto Rico.
But there also, but on the flip side, there's also no reggaeton without the U.S.
Very true.
Without New York, like there is, like they go hand in hand, and it, like I say this with all the love in the world, like for like especially the younger cats that don't know their history about hip hop and about reggaeton. It's like, yo, like I say this like meaning no disrespect to my Latinos across the world.
Get ready for some disrespect, guys. Get ready for
no. I mean this with no disrespect, really no disrespect. But there is no Hispanic heritage, literal culture in America if it wasn't for Puerto Ricans doing what they did in New York City.
Bueno, on the mainstream, you know, when you're talking about mainstream too, but you can't, you know, o sea, tampoco puede descartar, you know, nuestra gente mexicana over on the West Coast because they also have a lot of influence. I'm not saying that, but when you talk about mainstream musical influence, right? It's PR. It's Puerto Rico. It's Puerto Rico 100%. Right? We broke down those barriers so the Mexican Pacheco influence can come in and flourish. So that, you know, that Chicano culture can flourish. Without Puerto Rico in the US, because we are part of the US as a colony, as a you know, the debate goes on in TikTok or whatever. Some Puerto Ricans call it a colony, other Puerto Ricans call it a commonwealth. The official legal name is a Commonwealth of the United States of America. If you're an anti-colonialist, we're a freaking colony. Doesn't matter. It's semantics again, right? Don't care for the argument, right? Like if it wasn't for Puerto Ricans breaking those barriers down in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, there is no ability for the Chicano culture to be mainstream, not only in Hollywood, but in music as well. So I don't know if I agree with that argument, though, because you're talking about two totally different cultures, right? You're talking about a Chicano culture primarily based in Mexican, Central American, Latin American countries. Puerto Rico is a completely different animal, bro, because Puerto Rico is Caribbean. Puerto Rico is American. Puerto Rico tiene esa sangre africana y española comparado, you know, to the Mexican culture. Now, what I will say is, when it comes to Spanish music, right? Salsa, Puerto Rico lo tiene dominado. Puerto Rico lo hizo en New York, and then that just went global, right? La gente tampoco sabe de esto, bro. Like bachata. Bachata is huge in some parts of the world, but bachata also started in Puerto Rico. People think that it started in Dominican Republic, but that started in PR. Right? There's a lot of music genres and a lot of culture and a lot of influence that did start in Puerto Rico, but I don't think that Puerto Rico alone is the sole bearer of what dominates as culture for Latinos in the United States. I think it's a big blend. I think it's a big blend, bro, because you can't. I'm not denying the blend. I'm not denying the blend. What I'm talking about is the pioneering, the breaking down of walls, the breaking down of the artists and where they originated from, that were able for these other people to come in and take it to the next level, right? Well, what I'm talking about there is, yes, and the genre, and when it comes to, if we're specifically talking about hip hop and we're specifically talking about salsa y reggaeton, then yes, Puerto Rico definitely will take the upper hand on that, because there is no hip hop without the Puerto Rican cultures, without the Puerto Ricans from New York. That's a fact. There's no hip hop without the Puerto Ricans. They're just as the same. There's no hip hop without Beat Street. There's no hip hop without breaking. And the majority of the members of the Rocksteady crew of those breakers were Puerto Rican. Yeah, I'm so glad we're talking about this on the very last day of Hispanic Heritage Month. By the way, it's kind of messed up that during his Hispanic Heritage Month, why would you start a Hispanic Heritage Month in the middle of the month and finish at the other month? It makes absolutely no sense. I demand 100% change, because I did not subscribe to that BS, bro. And I remember, is it a Mandela effect? Because I remember that it was only the month of October when I was a kid. I don't know I thought it was just a few weeks, you know, and then all of a sudden it turned into a month, but it starts in the middle of September and then finishes in the middle of October, which makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, so we should have 2 months. I want both September and October. Yeah, actually, it should be like the last quarter of the year, because
We have all the good food.
Just give us the last quarter. Hispanic Heritage Quarter.
It should be multicultural last quarter of the year. If you're Black and Hispanic, it's the last part of our year. It's the best part of the year.
Brown people quarters.
Yeah. Well, give it to us.
Let's wrap up, bro. Let's wrap up. I'm tired. I know you're tired. I know our audience is probably tired. Pero guys, we love you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're glad to be back with you guys. Make sure you follow us on all the socials, on Cultura Truth Project on YouTube and on Rumble, Gonzalez Media TV on Facebook and on Instagram as well. Make sure you also subscribe. Google Podcast, yeet, and leave us a 5-star review. Yeet.
Follow Jose. Yeet.
That's right.
Follow me. Yeet. Follow the podcast. Yeet.
Yeet. You guys
shout out to Jey Uso, Intercontinental Champion. Yeet.
Yeah. By the way, beautiful belt. Beautiful belt.
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
Smash that like button, guys. Share the show. Appreciate you guys. And as always, we love you. So we'll check you guys out in the next episode.